So the important thing with Oak is to have enough tokens. Unfortunately, the search makes that nice and easy. So there's a few cards that I've seen people play in this that I actually haven't seen. Let me try that again. Since I last played this deck, there's a few cards that I totally didn't think of that I've seen people play. Hey, Majix, thanks for joining. I'm alright, bit rough. I'm not my healthiest, just because plants are trying to kill me while they reproduce. And it's a Monday. Mondays are always annoying, so the compound effect is not great. So yeah, I've seen people playing this, which is kind of cool. Probably not especially good though. We obviously want some of these aspects. We'll come into that in a minute. Gravity Well is mandatory. I think we just add those now because they go so well with the removal. Shimzar is an interesting option. I've seen people play it with Elena and this. That's probably too cute. Sentinels were one of the main things I missed. I didn't include Sentinels when I initially built the deck. But they're quite impressive. Like, people will bend heaven and earth to avoid flipping these ones. So it gives you a token for a while and forces your opponent into an awkward playstyle. Endless Hunt is an interesting idea. I've seen someone play this. I think it's probably a good one-off. In draft, actually, I came up against someone who drafted this with Mana Forger, which might actually be a cool direction to go in, because there's going to be a lot of spells in the deck. I think Aspect of the Mountains I tried before. Oh, White Asp, that's an interesting idea. This card is really good, just generally. Obviously we need this. Definitely going to include some of these. Rescue RX, that's an interesting one actually. It's a token and some healing. And a decent early play. And we're going to need all of those things. Duelyst is a new addition that works fantastically. It's like a nice mid-range minion. Hey, Yoshi Games, thanks for joining. Firestarter is kind of cool. Architect? We could do a build sub-theme with these two cards. But that probably isn't worth it. Jax we probably want. Kron I want to try. Oh, Tigris, that's interesting. Pandora also interesting. Actually, Pandora is kind of cool because it's a win con by itself and you're playing this kind of Dudley ramp deck. What is above? I like that. How's it going, Roxane? Thanks for joining. So, I want to try me some Kron. Let's craft the playset of Kron. Come back. And I'm interested in Duelyst, Pandora. Yeah, Jax is good enough. Definitely this. Jaxie is quite interesting as well. Probably isn't good enough. This is interesting. And then we want... So I had Circulus before and it was pretty good. Could still play that because we're going to probably have a lot of spells. Holy Kron, what is your spirit? Yeah, I tend to sandbag my spirit pretty aggressively. I know, I play a reasonable amount and I spend money on the game. So you do accumulate spirit in that situation. I mostly, I do most of my crafting on stream. I tend to be quite stingy with myself. But then I'll craft stuff either to test competitive decks or just when people are like, hey, can you try out this and it sounds interesting. Old school Jaxie plus Mark of Solitude. Oh, that is old school. That's pretty cool. Does Mark of Solitude... No, I can't do it, otherwise it'd show up in the test. God, I forgot that card existed. Blimey. What else can we do with Mark of Solitude? It's kind of cool on Kron dorks as well, isn't it? You get a 5/5 Frenzy or something. Even making a well into a 5/5. You kill something and then have a provoke left over. That's really interesting. I think I might have to test that. I don't know if it makes... It's probably not worth the slots considering we already have Aspect of the Bear, but that's quite cool. Speaking of which, let's get some of these in. I almost got beaten by that combo once. It's great control jank. I've tried to pull it off in draft numerous times. It's always harder than it seems it will be. So we're halfway through, and we've got nothing near a deck, but let's put some Sentinels in. Let's see, 2 of these, 1 Dowager. By the way, I'm playing Aggro Cassiva and I'm doing immoral things. You turned me into a monster. That pleases me. Aggro Cass is the best. I love Aggro Cass. I actually really liked Myriad last time I played this. Must put the Emblas in before I forget. Crystal Wisp. Malicious Wisp is quite interesting as well because we can transform it. So I'm kind of lacking in ways to make like lots of different tokens other than Embla. With Kron, I guess Kron and Pandora kind of get there. But it'd be good to have more token producers. Let's just see what else we have. I mean, at some point I'm going to have to stop putting in tokens and putting in some removal, but... kind of like Wintertide. Aspect of the Mountains is really good. Let's play that. Endless Hunt is fine. Is this a Mana Forger deck? We have... These are spells. This is a spell. Not really. Now we need card draw. That's an interesting one. Does Mark prevent damage on generals or just the attack? Ooh, good question. Can no longer attack generals, so it still counterattacks them. I got very lucky last week, got 2 legendaries in Hearthstone, and I switched to Duelyst to get 3 more. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, we could. Well, let's try this. I'll just put it in as a one-off. That's quite spicy. This is probably a Sojourner deck, isn't it? Fills the curve nicely as well. Maybe Spelljammer. I doubt it though. Rifter. Exhume. Do I have anything good for Scientist? Not really. I do want more than just Sojourner. What else can I really run though? Every deck is a Spelljammer deck. I kind of disagree though, because when you have enough, when there's enough aggro in the game, as there currently is, Spelljammer becomes a liability pretty rapidly. I think the rest of the slots are just Death Grip. So we have, how are we doing on removal? We have 4 aspect cards, 2 mana Death Grips, some decent tradey things, Aspect of the Mountain. So not very much. Maybe 3 Emblas is too many Emblas. Thinking about it. Should maybe cut some. I guess like we have enough random mid-range dudes that our trading power is kind of fine. I really want some Dispel. Both for the I kind of want to put Lightbender in, both for this and Cataclysmic Fault. Especially in decks like Keep of Arth or Mid-Curve Songhai, it's important to not have too much draw. Yeah, I agree fully. Although you could probably play it in Songhai decks. Like, you can play, if you remember the old mid-range of Arth deck with Flash Reincarnation, like turn 1 Flash Songhai was like... Songhai. Turn 1 Flash Spelljammer was like their thing. So you could definitely have some mid-range decks with Spelljammers in, and I could believe that Songhai would be that sort of deck. Like, if your deck has Juxtaposition in it, you probably also want Spelljammer. And Juxtaposition is a surprisingly good mid-range card. I might just run this out there and see how it does. I'm not massively convinced by it, but should be interesting. My old Oak list had a bunch of different, like basically one-offs at the top end. It was pretty sweet because you could have any expensive cards you drew would give you different tokens from the other ones. You'd never draw duplicates. And a lot of them made multiple tokens as well. Right, we do need a bit more of the old card draw. So what on earth do I cut? Sadly, probably this Mark of Solitude. Easily a Myriad. Maybe both Myriads. To be honest, that's probably enough. Put in like... So... Lore Weaver is bad. Spelljam is a bit awkward. I might just be... I want to try Ilkion. I haven't played with this card in ages. We'll cut a Malicious Wisp to put in extra healing. We'll go with that.